Right? Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. I have some wonderful news for you today. Did you know that the same power and presence that put the galaxies into their spin, the same power and presence that inspires the acorn to grow into an oak tree, works within each and every one of us? It's the presence within us that helps us to turn anger into compassion and judgment into love. And so with that, we will sing our theme song. I think a lot of you know this. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. And Susan will read our announcements and our daily word.
Okay. Our daily word for today is joy. And we don't usually do this, but this is such a wonderful one. I'll invite you to close your eyes as a mini meditation for this one, because it's so wonderful. My joy is complete in spirit. If I am searching for someone or something outside me to make me happy, it's time to shift my attention inward. I may be discontented with what's happening or not happening in my life, but my life's circumstances do not define my happiness. I choose instead to embark on an inner journey to joy. Joy is always within me as a gladness of my soul waiting to burst forth. Sometimes I simply need to give myself permission to experience joy. The joy of spirit is as much a part of me as my heart and soul. I have joy in knowing the Spirit of God is always present, and I carry this with me every moment of the day. I'm not waiting for something to happen to me or for me. My joy is already complete in spirit. From John 15:11. I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Our affirmation again, my joy is complete in spirit.
My joy is complete in spirit. Amen.
Wonderful.
Vicki, there's a chair right here. Okay.
And our announcements. Next Sunday, we'll continue the Rainbow Series. We'll be dressing in green. A Course in Miracles meets every Sunday at 10 a.m. And remember, we have a website, brightstarchurch.org. Deanna records most of her sermons in an MP3 format, and you can find those at the website. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter, and a calendar of events is also on the website, along with articles based on recent sermons. Coming in July, next Sunday is our July potluck, and we will celebrate July birthdays. There is a sign-up sheet in the back, so pick your favorite meal and come and join us.
Yes.
Deanna.
Yes. You know, I don't normally tell everybody what color to wear. So we just have a 7-week series we do once a year. So
give them a little more freedom than
right, yeah. Normally, you can just you can always wear whatever you want, but like today, in case you were wondering, it's a yellow day, so. Well, we have special music today. Wendy came and she's with her guitar. She, one of the things I love about her music is that she writes so much of her own stuff, and I don't know, she taps into these things going on and with humanity, and I love how she taps into that energy, and I always can see myself in it. And I know every time I hear her do a new song, I think, I want to learn to do that song too. So she's going to play a couple of songs for us right now.
All right, I gave Deanna the free choice of my book, so she chose one I haven't played in a while. And really the idea behind this first song is called Simple Rainbows. And when I was first taking care of my kids right after the divorce, it just felt overwhelming. You can get really busy just earning money to keep doing the same thing, to keep earning money. You can earn money to keep earning money. And eventually it feels like you're just kind of like, it's drudgery. It's the same thing. But it was also something that kind of occurred to me is, and this is the verse, is the simple rainbows. I'll read it out loud. Simple rainbows clear my eyes. They help me see true. Gray skies are simply lies when you let the sun shine through. So that was that idea that you just need to change your perspective. song has a funnier background. And this next song is called Slow Down Molly, and I wrote it because I have a friend, Molly, who she's like the queen of weird accidents. So this time, before I wrote this, she stepped just on the side of the sidewalk and fractured her ankle, so she was on crutches. And actually, so I wrote the song, and then just like 2 months ago, she's a very active woman, so she was taking judo, and she did this flying kick thing, and missed, and broke her leg and fractured her arm. So this is a very appropriate song for my friend Molly. It's called Slow Down, Molly. I said, you have to slow down. That's what the universe is trying to tell you. It's have to slow down.
Keep driving me here, Miss Molly, when you don't see that I'm around. I suggest you trading your traveling bag for a big old purple gown. Miss Molly, get off that express train. Down, you gotta slow down, Molly. You gotta slow down, Molly. Why you moving so fast, Miss Molly? Into your home under the ground.
This is where I have the whistle instrumental. I can't always do it.
Why you keeping me here, Miss Molly, when you don't see that I'm around? You gotta stop and smell those roses, Miss Molly. Get off that express train out of town. You gotta slow down, Molly. You gotta slow down, Molly. You gotta slow down, Miss Molly. Like the morning moving straight through town. You gotta slow way down. You gotta slow way down. That's the best part for me, Miss Molly. Yeah, when you're smiling instead of frown. Now sing it again now when you smile instead of frown.
I love that. When we're running through life that fast, we don't hear the universe talking to us. We don't sense that guidance that's coming through for us. So today I'm talking about the third part of our journey, and I have a yellow folder. Thanks to my aunt, she has scrapbooking paper, and she said, yeah, if you need a piece of paper, help yourself. Yellow, bright yellow. So on the first part of our journey, I talked about how we grow by learning to accept the package that our life is in. The second part of our journey, we grow by learning to accept the package that our relationships are in, right? We learn something from every relationship. Now this third part can be a little more challenging for some of us because it is about accepting the package that we are in. And this is about accepting our physical bodies, our intelligence, our looks, and our talents. Now this can be the hardest part sometimes for us because we have to be okay. We have to be okay with who we are right now. Carolyn Myss, the author of many books on energy, but this quote's from Invisible Acts of Power, says, becoming conscious of yourself. Do you need some water? Okay. Becoming conscious of yourself, aware of who you are and what you can and cannot do, is one of the most important tasks of spiritual maturity and the hero's journey. Okay, so becoming aware of who we are. Now, the sacred truth for this part of the journey, being okay with the package that we come in, is to honor oneself. Okay, so the first part was to honor one another, or all or one, and then it was honor one another. Now it's honor ourselves. And that's important to us because it is about trusting that there is a force working through us. So we wear the color yellow, or we think of the color yellow, because it represents that life force that works through us. It represents our creativity and our intuition. Okay, so we remember this force that works through us. It's only with that awareness that we become truly empowered. Now, we can still do good in the world, right? We can give to other people. We can help other people, with whatever it is that they need help with. But without the gift of self-esteem within ourself, we are limited in how we are able to give because we're not able to trust what works through us without that gift of self-esteem, okay? Without being able to trust that God works through us, we're not going to be comfortable with the decisions that we make, okay? When we're not trusting God working through us, it's hard to trust how other people are going to act in our life too. So that makes us worry. Now, if you've ever made a decision, okay, or if you've ever made a decision but you needed validation to follow through on that decision, like I've known people who've said, should I do this? And ask until she gets somebody to agree with her, right? And she's like, oh, well, the 8th person I asked said this is a good idea. Okay. Now, if we have ever done that, and I've done it, I've asked and asked and asked until I got the answer I wanted. If we've ever done that, we may need a little bit of self-empowerment in that area. Okay. Sorry, I just dropped 2 viewers. That wasn't you, that was us. Now, we are always working on all of our levels of spiritual growth, but this tends to be the one, okay, being self-empowered, trusting what works through us, tends to be what we come back to the most often, okay? What most people will come back to most often. Some people, they've got this down, right? They trust what works through them, but not all of us can get there. I know I still have to remember what it is that's working through me. Now, trusting ourselves is so important because it really means we're trusting that God works through us. When we trust that God works through us, then we get to a place where we don't actually have to trust other people. Because when we trust how God works through us, it doesn't matter what other people do because we know we can handle anything that they do. Now, a lot of people, of course, we're going to always be able to trust them. Okay, but people still can be unpredictable, and somebody in our life may do something that's unexpected, right? But when we trust what works through us, we can be okay with that because we know we can handle anything unexpected, anything. So to do that, we have to get to a point where we're trusting our perceptions without outside validation, okay? So now this, when we look at how this looks in our life, when we're giving to other people, when we're being of service, we're giving out of love, okay, and out of compassion. Now, if we're not able to trust ourselves, that giving may come in the form of doing something so we get recognition, okay, or doing something so that somebody tells us how great we are, right? I've done that before. I like having people say, good job. I do. So it's not that getting recognition is a bad thing. It's not, okay? But it's if we can only do something to get the recognition, it means we've cut ourselves off from our source. Okay, we're the ones missing out. We're the ones that aren't able to tap into what it is that works through us for our highest good. Okay, because that's coming from a space of fear. Now, if we're doing something then to help others, we know how we feel, okay, about that. So do we need the recognition? Okay, yeah, we do. Then maybe we need some empowerment, okay? Are we just doing it and we don't care if they ever say thank you? Okay, then we've got that something working through us right in that moment and we're doing good. That's why our relationships with other people teach us so much. And that is why paying attention to what we're able to give of ourselves teaches us so much. Now, it's not that we're ever doing anything right or wrong. We're just discovering how we're empowered. That's all. Okay, we're just discovering if we're empowered or not. Now, back in 2000, the year 2000, I found the Unity Church up in Yucaipa. And there was this group of ladies that went there, and they were, at the time, they were all in their 70s and 80s, and they were these ladies who had gotten into like spiritualism back before it was cool, and some of them were part of the Edgar Cayce Foundation. Some of them would go on these cruises like back in the 60s and 70s, and there would be like all these seances and all this stuff, right? They were just exciting ladies who were into all this stuff, and they were so wonderful, and they were so supportive. And so I remember thinking, well, I know how to do energy work and balance chakras and stuff, and so I'm going to ask the minister at the time, Joanne Bacon, if I can teach some classes. And so they were all like, oh yeah. So I did, and these ladies all like joined these classes, and they were so wonderful. They were so supportive. Okay, except for this one woman. All right, this one woman. She would sit there and she'd say, well, I know that already. Can you teach me something I don't know? Right? Even though there were these lovely women who were telling me, good job, Deanna, I love this, blah, blah, blah. It was the one woman I couldn't get out of my head. Right? That one person. Now, Galileo Galilei said, we cannot teach people anything. We can only help them discover it within themselves. Now, these lovely ladies, they saw something in me that at the time I didn't see, okay, but I did eventually discover it. Now, when I discovered it for myself, it did a lot more for me than when it was just them recognizing it, right? Because I had to discover it myself, okay, that there was something that worked through me. Okay, yeah, I taught the class because I love teaching, but I also taught the class because I love people saying, oh, Deanna, this is wonderful. I did. Okay, so later on, in 2005, I started filling in as a minister at just a couple of local churches here in the area. And I used to wonder, what would I do if I got in front of a group of people and like somebody wanted to throw tomatoes at me, right? Like, what would I do? But you know, the churches I filled in at, they're all like so wonderful and everybody's always so nice, right? But it did eventually happen. Okay, there were no tomatoes, but it was in 2011. Lauren, you were there. And he's like, I didn't see any tomatoes. Yeah, you were the smiley face. I think you were probably there too. Probably there were a few of you there. But I was talking, and there was a woman in the back row, and she went like this. I swear, like in that moment, out of this room, I focused in on that one head that rolled back, right? Like her eyes rolled. It's like I could see they were enhanced, right? I had supervision or something. I don't know. And so at first what popped through my head was, okay, how can you get her to like you, right? But then I thought, Deanna, you know what? I looked around and there was Lauren smiling at me. Karen was smiling too, I'm sure. And I thought, you know what? I trust what I'm talking about today because I was inspired to talk about this again, or today, right? No, I didn't like that somebody was rolling their eyes at me. But I trusted what I was getting, what I was talking about. And I thought, you know what? I'm here. Maybe I'm not here for her today. Or maybe I'm teaching her some other lesson, right? And she's like, man, I'm never going back to that crazy church. I don't know. But so I spoke for the people who were there to hear what I happened to have to share, right? Now, personal empowerment within us is about learning that we don't need the recognition to make us successful. We don't need those kudos, okay? It's okay to get the kudos. It absolutely is. But they're not who make us what we are. What makes us what we are is what works through us. Okay? And when God is working through us, it doesn't matter if there are 40 people in the room and 39 of them are rolling their eyes at us. Because we trust what works through us. Okay? We're there, and we may not know why we're there. But if we trust what works through us, we just let it happen. Now, do I still want recognition? Well, yeah, I can't help it. I like to have it, but I don't need it. And I discovered that I didn't need it because that day at church, after the sermon, I stayed and I talked to some people and got a lot of hugs and just got to talk to some wonderful people, and then I left. Well, the last person I saw was that woman in the parking lot. And she says, well, have a nice afternoon. I apparently was like the biggest disappointment of her day, right? And I'm like, you too. And I got in my car, and I did think about her. I thought, one of these days I'm going to use this story in a sermon. That's what I thought. So we get to the space, right, where we trust what works through us. I survived that day. I did. And here I am, right? And anybody after the service today, if you want to give me a thumbs up, I'll love you for that. But you know what? I love you anyway. It's okay. Did you already give me the thumbs up, Macy? Did you already do that? Thank you, honey. I love that. I love that. So we managed to learn about how we're empowered. We managed to get to a space where we can be empowered by trusting our intuition. Okay? Our intuition is how God works through us and how God guides us. Now, when you say intuition, and many of you may have had this experience, right? But when you tell somebody you're intuitive, they think you're psychic, right? That's what they think. Oh, somebody said intuitive, what they mean is psychic, right? Intuition is not psychic abilities, right? Psychic ability is something in a completely different space. Intuition is not having all the answers. It's being able to it's having the guidance come through us so we deal with anything that comes our way. Now, when I first got into ministerial counseling, I called myself an intuitive coach because that was such a trendy term at the time. And as it turned out, I learned a lot from that little title. People would come to me, they'd want me to foretell their future. And I was not about foretelling. It was about helping them discover what works through them and how they can discover that for themselves, how they can feel it and have the experience. But they would want me to tell them what job should they take, who should they marry, when should they get pregnant because they want their child to be born under the most auspicious sun sign. Okay, I actually had somebody want me to tell them that. Okay, well, I'm not like that. Sorry. People want guidance that ensures their safety and their happiness. They want guarantees. They want the guarantees of the big four: love, health, wealth, and happiness, right? Those are the big guarantees. That's what we all want, really. We all want health, wealth, love, and happiness. And we would all love to be able to be given the promise that if we do a certain thing, we'll be happy forever, we'll be healthy forever, our loved ones will stay healthy forever. And we'll have unlimited prosperity flowing through our lives. Okay, we would all love to have somebody do that for us. Okay, to promise us that. But that's not going to happen for us. Okay, in life there are no guarantees of anything, except that God never leaves us. God never abandons us. God never forgets us. Okay, God said, I set before you an open door. Before you, turn around, there it is. The door's already open, okay, all the time. God never forgets us, okay? We're the ones who forget. We get distracted, or we set up some other expectation. So we want to learn to trust our intuition because that's how God works through us. That's how God says, oh, you got off track. Here, get back and do this. Okay, it doesn't ever give us guarantees, but it does tell us, trust your heart. You are capable. If you dream it, you can do it. You have it inside of you already. Okay? That's what our intuition does. Okay? Our intuition tells us if we're choosing something from a space of fear or a space of love. Now, I used to love these questions that I would get with clients, several years ago. Well, if I love this person, will they be my soulmate, right? Will things work out? Will we have a long, happy marriage? Okay? Should I date this person because, well, the woman I wanted to date actually married someone else, and I just don't know what to do now. And I feel like I just need to move forward, right? Okay, that's choosing from fear. If we say, man, there's this person in my life, and if I have to go to the ends of the earth, somehow I'm just going to make this happen. That's choosing from love, because there's a feeling of enthusiasm behind it. Okay, choosing a job from a space of fear will feel much different to us than choosing a job from a space of love, right? Choosing from fear may feel like, well, there's nothing else, and I'm really worried about money, and so I hate this job. I don't like what they're having me do at all, but I guess I just have to do it. Or choosing from a space of love may look like, well, this job looks exciting, and I've wanted to do something like this. The money's not really good to start off, but I don't know, I just feel so excited when I think about it. There's this excitement, and it just like makes me feel like I should do something about it. Like if I don't, I'll be really sad if I didn't try, right? So there's a feeling, there's a difference in how we feel. Now, choosing from a space of love is always going to move us toward the highest and brightest version of ourselves. Choosing from a space of fear keeps us from expressing the brightest version of ourselves. It'll slow us down. And so then our intuition kicks into gear again, right? You need to change course, right? That's what it's saying. So when we are choosing from love, we move forward a lot faster. Okay, when we're choosing from fear, we just go off course more and have to come back again. Now, our intuition guides us to do things that are actually can be life-saving to us. Okay, it may tell us it's time to put ourselves first. Okay, we may not always put ourselves first. Have you ever heard the saying, fill the well? You've got to fill the well. Okay, we're not doing anybody any good if we drain ourselves, right? Sometimes we need to put ourselves first. Okay, our intuition tells us sometimes it's time to make choices to help our health, right? Change our eating habits, or change our exercise, or add something new into our routine. But it'll just be this feeling that we should do something. Like that stupid, awful feeling I get when it's time to go off sugar, right? Stupid intuition. Now, this happens a lot with intuitive guidance. It will sound like something we don't want to hear, okay? Because our intuition is something that gets us back on course, and so it means that it's time to change something. Our intuition is always going to guide us toward what we need, both physically and spiritually. Okay, so that is intuitive guidance. Taking us towards something that's good for us, for our highest good, physically and spiritually, even if we don't want to do it. Intuition's always going to get us back on track. Okay, like I love the story how the airplane is always going off course, and so the pilot's there to always just bring it back on course. Because of the wild wind, I guess, right? The plane wants to move around, so the pilot just gets it back. That's what our intuition does for us. It gets us back on track. And you know what? It gets louder the more off course we are, right? But we keep hearing something that's telling us to change our life. Okay, we keep hearing something that's telling us to change a habit we're not ready to change. Maybe it seems too overwhelming. So like, I'm not ready for that. When our life is quiet, when our life is headed in the right direction, when our life feels enthusiastic, our intuitive voice will be quieter in those times. Okay, because we don't need it so much. We're headed in the right direction. We're trusting what feels good. We're trusting what feels right. Okay, that's all intuition. It's all about what feels right. God is always working through us. Now, I love the stories in the Bible about the angels appearing to people, and the first thing out of their mouth is, don't be afraid, right? I can remember when I first wanted to start working with angels, and I'd be like, okay, angel, appear to me, appear to me, appear to me. I was pregnant with Macy at the time, and I'd walk down the hallway at night, because you know pregnant ladies in the bathroom, right, 3 times in the middle of the night. It's all dark and quiet in my house, and I'd be like, don't you dare, don't talk to me, don't talk to me, don't talk to me, you'll freak me out if you appear right now. That's what I would say, right? Like during the day, I'm all like ready, you know, for the burning bush type sign, but in the middle of the night, when it's dark and quiet and scary, right? It's like, no, don't even. But see what happens when God works to us, or works through us, through our intuition, right? There's no crazy things that happen outside of us that are going to scare us into running off. These gut feelings feel like part of us. That's why they call it the gut feeling, right? We feel it right there. Okay, so it's always there. When it's working through us, we feel it. We know what we should be doing, right? Now, our self-esteem combines with our intuition to act So help us move into using our personal power. When we are using that intuition, when we are trusting it, it helps our self-esteem increase. So we're trusting ourselves more and more. We're trusting how God works through us more and more. We will recognize that we're good enough. We'll recognize that we're capable. We'll stop negating ourselves. We'll stop saying things like, oh, why would you even try that? Why would you want to do that? Okay, we'll stop doing that. Because our intuition always tells us something else first, right? We get a good idea and we have a feeling about it and it feels good and it feels exciting. It's the voice that comes in later that says, are you kidding? Are you really going to try that? That's not intuition, right? Our intuition's not mean to us. It's just a feeling, right? And sometimes it's a little scary feeling, but it's like a roller coaster. Okay, that kind of good scary, right? Because it wants us to move out of our comfort zone. Okay, so from good self-esteem and with our intuition, we're going to recognize, are we giving because we love giving, because we want to be of service? Or do we need the recognition? Now, if we're coming from a good space of intuitive guidance, we're not giving to get the recognition. We're giving because it's part of who we are. We're giving because we've got to do it, right? We want to express. God works for us by working through us. Okay, we're a channel for that divine grace, that divine energy, and it feels good to let that work through us. Okay, so we stop worrying about what we're giving. We stop doing it for the wrong reasons. We also realize when we're coming from a space of trusting ourselves and trusting what works through us, anything we have to give is good. Okay, the size of the gift doesn't matter. Because when we are giving from that space within us that loves to give, loves to let God work through us, we know whatever it is the right thing. Okay, so even if it's just, like one time I was at the grocery store, and there was this mom there, and she had a little toddler in her cart, and the toddler was freaking out, right? And I could tell she was about to lose her mind, right? And I walk by and I say, they don't pay us enough, do they? And that's all I did. I felt so much compassion for her because I know what it felt like, right? Macy? No, I'm kidding, baby. You never did that, ever. But I think that just me saying that one thing, me empathizing with her, and she saw me with 2 kids, okay? I really felt like it kind of helped just whatever she was feeling in that moment, okay? It was a small thing. It was a really small thing that I did. But see, I've had people do things like that for me, and they seemed really small, probably to the outside world, but inside of me, it was just like, wow, that changed my perspective. And when my perspective changes, there are a lot of things that change, right? So when we trust how God is working through us, anything that we put out there is good enough, okay? Because it's coming from the spirit that works within us, all right? So it's going to benefit the world. It's going to benefit the world around us, right? It's that whole trickle effect. When we're trusting how God works through us, we don't need a roadmap. We don't need to know every single thing that's going to happen for us. We trust whatever comes our way. Helen Keller said, security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Now we make life a daring adventure just by trusting what works through us. When we trust how God's working through us, there's a feeling of enthusiasm that comes with that. And that's really what we're looking for, right? We want the feeling of enthusiasm that goes with the things that we do, with how we present our life. Can you imagine listening to Wendy sing if there was no enthusiasm there? Right? That wouldn't have been so good. Right? So yeah, we want to have enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is what makes stuff fun. Okay? And this helps us get really good at listening what's working through us. Okay, instead of listening to all the outside voices, right? People who mean well, people who think we should do things like they do maybe, right? We know what works through us, and we just go ahead and let ourselves trust that. And I'm going to walk you through a really quick physical exercise. And I love this, right? Physical, right? You're going to get physical. Feel yourself sitting in your chair, right? Can you just feel all the places that you're in contact? Okay? Now feel like where you're sitting. Feel where your back is leaning. You can even feel your feet on the ground. Wiggle your toes a little. And then take a deep breath and feel where your breath is coming from. Okay? Now we're all fully in our bodies. Now I discovered something really interesting. Maybe somebody else knows this too, right? But when I'm upset about something, I'm not fully present this way. I'm projecting myself into the future, thinking about those what ifs, right? Well, what if this happens? Or what if this is how it turns out, right? I don't feel this sense of being in my body when I do that. And so I'm not hearing how God works through me. I'm not feeling how God works through me. Okay, if we're projected out here and we're all worried on the future, we're not trusting what's working through us in the present moment. Now, the really funny thing about doing this exercise is I've tried it. I've done it a lot because I wanted to practice it right before I told you, because I wanted to really know that this made a difference. Probably over half the time, I will get some insight that will make me feel better about what was bugging me. Okay, and so that's another benefit, right? And that's how I knew that where I was when I was upset was not a place where God could work through me. Okay, I was blocking it. So when I brought myself back, paid attention to where I was breathing, felt my body sitting in the chair, I could feel God work through me again, right? I opened that up again. I allowed it again. And I got an insight that just made me just like, wow, okay, that felt good. Now this exercise then can help anybody, right? Try it all this next week and see what you think. Okay, I've tried it enough that I like to keep doing it now because it brings me back into the moment. And so I can trust again what's working through me. When I'm not in the moment, I don't trust it. If I'm not in the moment, I'm fretting about something. Okay? So we learn about how we are empowered through the first two steps of our journey, right? Through remembering that everything is one and that our relationships teach us about how we feel about God working through us. We know if God is working through us or not because of how we're feeling, right? And our personal relationships show us that all the time. Okay? Do we see God in all these relationships? Even when they're behaving terribly? Okay? If we still see God in that person, right? They've just taught us something amazing. Right? They've taught us that God is working through them, so they have to be working through us too. Now, if we're feeling like God is not working through us, we may not currently be empowered. Okay? If we feel like we have to have somebody tell us we did a good job so that we can believe we're good enough to do something, then we may not be feeling very empowered. Okay, if we need somebody to tell us the right thing to do because we're not trusting ourselves, then we may not be feeling very empowered. If we want somebody to give us a guarantee, okay, about what this decision means, then we may not be feeling very empowered. So all you have to do is just bring yourself back into your body. If you're not feeling empowered, you're not in it. Okay, you're not in it. Just come back. Okay, stop projecting all these worries and staying out here with them. Come back in the body. Feel the chair, right? Sometimes you just need a good excuse to sit down, right? There's a good reason I'm sitting right now. Okay, feel that. Feel where you're breathing from. Okay, and then feel all the places you're connected with the chair. And then remember this, my favorite quote from Eric Butterworth: anything God has done, God can do. Okay? Anything we're worried about right now, we want to fix, someone else has fixed it. Anything we want to do right now, someone else has done it. They may have done a different version, right? Okay, but somebody else has accomplished something, and so that means we can accomplish something, right? Anything God has done, God can do, but God has to be able to work through us to do that. Everything God does for us, God does through us. So we have to be able to let that happen. Okay, then we ask ourselves, what feels right? Now, what feels right may sometimes feel scary, okay, because letting God work through us is always about stepping out of our comfort zone, is always about allowing God to extend out of us and express out of us. So it's always this expansive motion. Okay, it's always expansion. So our gut feeling may feel a little scary, but it's not going to be mean. Okay, it's not that mean voice saying, "Are you kidding me?" Okay, it's not that voice. It's the feeling telling us it is, I'm scared, but it sounds exciting. It's scary, but it just feels like the right thing to do. Okay, and then always remember that nobody walks this path alone. Okay, none of us walk this path alone. Everybody in this room likes to do something for somebody else, right? But do you know that there are people who like to do something for you too? Right? We don't walk this path alone. There's a really sweet story, and I think I got it in a Bob Proctor newsletter, but it's about this man and his little boy are taking a walk, and they're just on this nice little pathway. Well, they come to the space in the path where there's a big tree branch laying across the path. The little boy says, "Dad, do you think I could move that?" He says, "Yeah, if you used all of your strength." The little boy pushes and pushes and pushes. He can't do it. He says, "Dad, you said I could move this if I used all my strength." And the dad says, "Well, I'm part of your strength. Just ask me to help you." And they moved it together. Now, all of our strength sometimes is the people around us also. Okay, we don't have to do this stuff alone. Sometimes we need a reminder. Sometimes we need somebody to say, "Okay, you remember how God works through you, right?" Okay, it's in there, I see it, right? Sometimes somebody just needs us to see it for them. Sometimes we just need somebody to see it for us. So we can just ask. Although sometimes asking is really hard, isn't it? Send me an email, I'll do something for you. I'll send you an email back. Paul said in one of his letters to the Thessalonians, "You are all children of light and the children of the day, and you are not the children of the night, nor the children of the darkness." Now, light is a metaphor for God and love, and it's used throughout the Bible, right? That's what we are. We're children of God. We're children of light in the day. Darkness is a metaphor for fear, okay? But that's not who we are. We're not children of fear. We're children of light. Okay? He also wrote that in a letter to Timothy, he said, we need to, quote, "stir up the gift of God." I love that. That's a very active thing to do. Stir up something, okay? We have to actively use that gift that is working through us. We can't sit around and just wait for something good to happen. We have to use it, right? You can buy all of the ingredients for a Toll House cookies, right? And you just sit them on your counter and nothing is gonna happen. You have to mix everything up yourself, or you get somebody to do it for you, right? But that's the only way that cookie is gonna get made. Okay, so that is an active force. Then Paul continues, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of good discipline." Now, first, I don't like the word discipline. I just think it sounds mean. But as I'm getting used to it over the years, I'm realizing that it's for our own good. It's goodness for us. Okay, power, love, and discipline. Discipline is what gets us back into a space of letting God work through us. Discipline is what helps us to make the choice to not come from a space of fear. Discipline is the practice that we put ourselves into to always remind ourselves, even during hard times, of what works through us. That's the goodness of discipline in our life, right? So we don't just sit around and say, "Oh, I'm afraid and I can't do anything now," right? That's not discipline. That's fear. Discipline is like, "Come on, Deanna, you remember what works through you, okay? Stir up spirit." That's what we got to do. We have to make the effort. We have to commit to it, okay? This is very active. This is an active process, letting God work through us, because it's about remembering to come back and let God work through us. So we do actually need to stir spirit up. I saw something online the other day. It said, "Just add light and stir." And that's what we do. We just add light and stir, although the light's already in there, right? So we're kind of stirring away like the Like on coffee, like with cream on top, sometimes you have to, if it sits around all day, you've got like a little coating or something, right? So you got to stir it all up again. Coming from fear means we're just coming from some bad programming, that's all. Fear is not what we were given. Fear is something that we pick up when we're little. And then we decide to hang on to it, right? We keep it. We're convinced that we need to keep it. So fear is not who we are. We are just love. We are love. The small, scared version of us is not us any more than James Earl Jones is Darth Vader. Okay? He did a great job, the actor who played Darth Vader, right? But he's not Darth Vader. He was just playing a role. In truth, it's actually a little bit arrogant for us to play it small, because we were created to be divine channels for God to work through. God created us. Okay, God created us as perfect, to allow this force to work through us, for us, to help us to reach the brightest version of ourselves. And then we're all like, you know, no, you got it wrong, God. You were really good at creating everybody else, but I don't know, with me, you forgot something that I think I really needed, right? Who are we to say that? Right? Who are we to say that to the same force that inspired Shakespeare to write A Midsummer Night's Dream, okay? The same force that inspired Ruth Wakefield to break up a chocolate bar and throw it into a batch of cookie dough and create the first chocolate chip cookie in Massachusetts, okay? That same force works through us also, all the time. That's why if we get a cut, it heals. That's why we remember songs. We sing songs. We remember those words. That's why we breathe, and we don't have to tell our lungs to do that for us, right? If you slept through the night last night without having to wake up one time and say in, out, okay, then you have this divine intelligence in you. Every single one of us has this divine intelligence working in us. Now, we can do good in our lives even if we forget this. But we're always limited in how we do good in our lives, okay? So we just want to pay attention to this, okay? Because when we are allowing that intuition to work through us, we're expressing the brightest version of ourselves. And that's when we feel enthusiasm for our life. That's when we feel excitement, because we're set upon the course that God created for us. Okay, and that's where the highest and the brightest and the most wonderful things happen for us, is on the course that God created for us. All we have to do is just remember what works through us. We don't even have to know how it works through us. Okay, most of us drove a car here today, but there may be somebody here who can rebuild the carburetor, but most of us can't rebuild the carburetor. Okay, we may have cooked food in a microwave, right, in the last week, but does anybody know how to, what's going on with a microwave? I mean, there's waves that shoot through it, right? But it make a marshmallow get really big, but I don't even get all that, right? It's crazy. Okay, we have our cell phones, right? The cell phone. I can check my email on my cell phone. I can use Skype on my cell phone and see somebody's face talking to me. I don't understand how my cell phone works. I don't know, there's rays that are shooting into the cell phone, okay? I don't understand how it works, but I don't have to work it, okay? Now, it would be silly for me to say, oh, I was really mean yesterday and judgmental, so my cell phone today is going to see me as unworthy and not work for me. Doesn't that sound silly? But yet, we do that with God, right? We do that with God. We say, I can't do this. This isn't going to work through me, okay? We're always worthy. We're always worthy. God always sees us as worthy and perfect. All we have to do is just allow it. Just say, yeah, you know what? I'm an infinite being in a body. There's something working in me. I don't get it. And I don't really feel infinite. But, I'm just going to let it do whatever it's going to do. I'm going to trust those feelings. I'm going to trust. Yesterday was the Dalai Lama's 78th birthday. And do you know, he said that the best gift that he could have for his birthday is for everybody to keep compassion in their heart and in their mind. He said that would be the best gift ever. Now it fits really because when we keep compassion in our heart and mind, we are letting God work through us. That's why it's the best gift ever, because it's the best gift for us. God working through us is the best gift ever. Now there's a force that is working through us. And all we have to do is recognize that it's there. Okay, it's always there. It's always waiting for us to recognize it, because the minute we do, we become a catalyst for those the divine grace and miracles, okay, that are always ready to come through us all the time. And that's what you are. That's what we all are. We're a catalyst for miracles. God created us, and we're perfect already just as we are. So until next time, remember that you are a divine expression of a loving creator. You are a force for good. You are a light and you light the way. And with every beat of your heart and with every breath you take, you are radiating light and love out into this world around you. In everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Okay, we're going to put a little love into the prayer box, and then Wendy's going to sing for us again, okay? Get us all back up and ready to go out into that world after this prayer meditation, okay? So in this prayer box right now, we have some requests from some people that we may know, maybe we don't know, but they are asking to have God work through their life, okay? For whatever reason, they're ready right now. They want to recognize that force and that divine presence. And they're asking for support, which sometimes we all have to do that. Okay, so just take a moment and just close your eyes and feel where you're breathing from. Feel all the places that you're connected to this chair right now. And just take a moment and remember that that divine force that works through you to work for you. And so we just picture anyone right now in need of healing or in need of love and support. We see their request put into the light. We see their hearts allowing the healing energy of God to work through them so it may work for them. We remember for them that in God's mind, everything is already perfect. Everything is already whole. In God's mind, everything is love. And we think about any of our own concerns, anything that we may be worried about, and we put it out there into the light also. We give thanks for how God works through us. We give thanks and allow ourselves to be that channel for divine grace and wisdom. We remember that anything God has done, God can do. We were created from the light. We were created from love. That is what we are, even when we forget. So we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Okay, Wendy, what you got for us?
David. Want merry-go-round first or hanging on a star?
How about merry-go-round?
This one has my daughter helped me write this one. She was 7 or 8 at the time, and I started like, I'm just riding this merry-go-round, because at the time I was going through a divorce, and it was like, you know, he'd do something and I'd get all riled up, and then I'd do something and he'd get riled up, so we were just kind of keeping everything moving around in circles. And but I wanted all these metaphors for merry-go-round, and I thought, well, my daughter's has the most recent experience, so she helped me write this one.
I'm just riding this merry-go-round so fast, it makes me wanna fall down off this merry-go-round. Going around, going around, going around again. It's spinning faster and faster. I don't know my left from my right, my up from the down on this merry-go-round. Going around, going around, going around again. So I just hold them tight. The sun is hot when the rain comes down, when there's snow all around. This merry-go-round, going around, going around, going around again. Don't think you come over here pushing me faster, just get up too. Oh, you're on here too on this merry-go-round. Going around, going around, going around again. So you just hold tight, you keep your shoes on, you keep your shirt on. Most of all, you keep your faith on this merry-go-round. Going around, going around, going around again. Ooh, so you just hold tight, you keep your shoes on, keep your shirt on. Most of all, you keep your faith on this merry-go-round. Going around, going around, going around again.
And this last one is a song I wrote about falling in love, but as I was listening to Deanna talk, I thought, well, this is kind of like when you get very enthusiastic about a thing, you know, you almost don't need to eat. You're just so into it that, you know, it's like you're getting energy just from your enthusiasm, which is the second verse. And then eventually, of course, you have to come down off of it, and sometimes it fails, but is that like, we always do want to do it again, as long as we keep in the right headspace, as long as we keep our enthusiasm and don't get scared. And then that last verse.
We took rocket to the sun. It was too fast, but it was fun. We didn't count the cost or think of those we left behind. I was fearless, flying high, like all open wide. You and me, I can't see, I can't sleep. Just keep me hanging on the star. We'll travel far, far, far away. In space we floated weightlessly. No need for shoes or gravity. Oh, we lived on stardust, straight from comets that were passing by. Music of the universe, the smile of lover's night. Oh, you and me, I can't see, I can't sleep. Just keep me hanging on the star. We'll travel far. At dawn shines on my face, I'm pulled back into its grace. I find him floating down through stars and turquoise skies. I hope to land on clouds, but no heart that never rise. Oh. You and me, I can't see, I can't sleep. Just keep me hanging on a star. We'll travel far, far, far away. Wait, landing bears me down. I pick myself off the ground. I look up, see how far I fell. Amazed I'm living. I wonder when I'll get a chance to do this all again. You and me, I can't see, I can't sleep. Just keep me hanging on the star. We'll travel far, far, far away. You and me, I can't see, I can't sleep. Just keep me hanging on the star. We'll travel far, far, far away.
Woo, thank you, Lindy.